financial problems, elder law, criminal law, tax problems, business matters, divorce, personal injury, bankruptcy, your life, your reality. Life is complicated. There is the law and there is reality. Welcome to Law and Reality, sponsored by THAV GROSS. Now here's your host, Ken Gross.
Welcome to this segment of Law and Reality. Today's topic is house is in foreclosure and my kid is in big trouble. Double story. Brian Small, good morning.
Good morning, Ken.
Nice. Jeffrey Linden, good morning.
Morning, Ken.
Scott Weinberg, good morning.
Good morning. My kids are never in trouble.
This was one of the best good mornings we've ever had. I love it. It's going to be a great show. I can just feel it in my hands. Case study today. Sherry and Randy. 2 children. Jet, 12 years old. Michael, 17. They live in Farmington Hills. They have a home, $235,000 market value. First mortgage $240, payments $1,350. Second mortgage $30,000, so they're upside down on this house. Payments $375. Other bills: $85,000 in credit cards, paying $2,125 a month. Net take-home pay for the two of them, $7,750 a month. Here's their budget. It's up. You're looking at. Imagine you're looking at the budget. Okay, you got income of $7,750. After your expenses, the mortgage $1,350, second $350, the credit cards, 2 payments on the cars, medical bills, car insurance, utilities, health insurance, food, miscellaneous. Their expenses are $8,175 a month. They're 4 1/4 upside down. They've got a stressful family situation. No money because of the credit cards making those payments, so they're in the credit card trap. Randy blames Sherry for shopping too much on the credit cards. Sherry blames Randy for going to the casino, betting on football, and playing cards every Thursday night with the boys. Apparently Randy doesn't do that good of a job at the card game.
He could do better.
They fall behind 4 months on the house, and a foreclosure notice is posted on the door. This is traumatic to any family that goes through it. Big fight ensues. Michael leaves the house, meets up with his friends. Michael's 17, smoking dope, drinking, gets busted, and MIP is issued. This is a case for Brian and Scott. Brian, can you save the home?
Yes.
Okay. Scott, can you keep Michael from going to jail for the rest of his life?
More importantly, we could protect his record.
Okay. Now that we have the answers to those 2 questions,
The show's over?
we can cut the show, right, and you can watch commercials for the next 25 minutes. Now back to Brian. Okay. How do you keep this house from first, before we talk about saving the home, explain to me what this foreclosure process is.
All right,
and how to
so
stop it.
When you are behind on your mortgage payment, and you reach 4 months behind, that's 3 missed payments of 30 days and 1 day late on the 4th payment that's due. You're 4 months behind. When you reach that point, the lender can start a foreclosure proceeding. Foreclosure is the action by the lender to take the collateral that you've pledged, which is the house, back from you, giving you an opportunity to cure that before they go to sheriff's sale. But when they sell it at the sheriff's sale, they're selling the house out from under you because you have chosen not to make the payments for some reason.
So how do you stop? What are the ways in which you stop that foreclosure?
Number one way, reinstate the mortgage. Write a check for all the money you're behind, plus the attorney's fees. And
four months payments behind. Just write a check for the $9,000 or so, and I'm done.
Effectively, if you can.
Problem, I don't have the $9,000.
Oh, did you check your pockets?
Don't have it.
No?
Can't borrow it.
Underneath the pillow?
In-laws won't loan it to me. Parents are deceased.
Okay, so now you've got,
Brother has no money.
at
Sister
this,
doesn't talk to me.
at this point, because you're calling me, what's happened is that foreclosure notice has been posted on your door. They say they're going to sale at a certain date.
4
And
weeks from now.
4.5 weeks from the time that it's published. All right. So what can we do? We can file a Chapter 13
Wait, can't you do a loan modification?
Well, we could have sought a loan modification out, but unfortunately, realistically, there isn't enough time at this point to get a loan modification before the sheriff's sale. If you're 120 days or less behind, you can utilize the Reg X and file for a loan modification, and they have to consider it and adjudicate it.
So it goes through a process
Right.
then.
Before they can start a foreclosure. But at this point, you're more
Too
than
late.
120 days behind. So now they're starting a foreclosure
So I
process.
either pay or loan mod is out, or what do I do? What do
Chapter
you do?
13 bankruptcy may be an option. Now in this case, what we've got is Sherry and Randy have an income of a net income of $7,750, and as you pointed out in their budget, it appears that they're negative $425 a month. They're actually more negative than that because you also pointed out they're in the credit card trap. So they're paying $2,125 a month on their credit cards, but they're probably charging up $1,500, $1,600 a month on their credit cards at the same
Well,
time.
they use all the money they have to make the credit card payments, so then they have to keep using the credit cards to buy things because
But
they don't have any
actually,
cash.
if they didn't have the credit card debt, they wouldn't be so far negative. They would have a positive surplus.
Okay.
Maybe it's $500 a month plus their mortgage payment. That's enough to fix the problem. I can take what they're behind on their mortgage and cure that instead of paying it right now. Because you know the bank is sitting there saying, pay me now or I'm taking your house. Instead,
Well, can't you call up the bank and say, listen, I owe you $9,000. I know I got this foreclosure notice. I'll give you $3,000 today. Will you give me another 6 months to catch up? Can't
So-
you just call them up and ask them that?
here's what just happened on the TV show, is about to happen. A sound of a clown laughing is coming over the phone, okay? Because they're
And you can see the image of the clown behind you.
laughing hysterically. So,
You're saying that they won't do that?
no, they will not do that.
They should do that, but they don't.
They should, but they won't.
Okay, so you have to do this Chapter 13 then to stop the foreclosure. Take a break. I want to cover when do you have to file that 13 by.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV Gross.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV Gross today, 888-235-HELP. If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV Gross specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV Gross.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV Gross. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
I love you too. Bye-bye. That was Jerry. Emma just said her first word.
Oh,
Jerry says hello and they'll be over soon.
who's Jerry? Is he a friend of yours?
No. This Jerry. Our Jerry. And this is his wife and their little girl.
You can't work. You have to deal with pain and stress. Worse yet, our system for applying for disability benefits seeks to deny you the benefits you're entitled.
Jeff Kirschner is an expert in obtaining disability and workers' compensation benefits for his clients. You need to call Jeff before you apply or after you're denied to get the benefits you deserve. 888-235-HELP. 888-235-HELP. Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
All right, so Brian, when do you have to file this Chapter 13? What about this sale? Isn't there something about the sale date? I hear magic about this.
So any sort of bankruptcy would stop a foreclosure. A Chapter 7 wouldn't help you save the home, but it would stop the foreclosure. A Chapter 13 will stop the foreclosure and help you save the home, but you have to file the case before the sheriff's sale. If the sheriff's sale has occurred at 10 o'clock a.m. on Wednesday, whatever, then you're done. Too bad.
Chapter 13 won't help.
Chapter 13 will not help you.
But if you file it 10 minutes before the sale, it will?
Legally, yes.
Okay, so it's critical that if you're facing foreclosure, you need to get in, see Brian, see another bankruptcy attorney. It's not just seeing them, the case must be filed. You file these electronically, right?
Yes, yes.
So we can, if you're at the deadline, you can still get relief. Preferably, I'm sure you'd rather have people come in a week ahead of time.
A week ahead of time. The day before is still fine. We've
But
done
in an
some
emergency.
I've done them at 8 o'clock in the morning when the foreclosure's at 10
But
o'clock.
it must
every
be
day.
before the 10 o'clock sale. And that's usually the time of the sale, isn't it?
Yeah, 10 o'clock is the most sales.
Right, so
It
that's
depends on the day. Some days it's Tuesday, some counties it's
critically
Wednesday.
important. Okay, now, what do you accomplish in the Chapter 13?
So-
other than you stop the sale, how does it then work? What do we get out of this?
Well, so the Chapter 13 is structured reorganization. It allows you to repay some or all of your debts over a period of 3 to 5 years. In this case, what are we trying to do? The bank wanted 4 months worth of mortgage payments, or 6 months, or 10 months, however far you are behind, instantly. It says, I can take that same amount of money, spread it out over 5 years if I need to, and pay it back at the smallest number possible at no interest.
That's a good deal.
I also get to take all the other debt that they have, the credit card debt.
$2,125 of credit cards. How much am I going to have to pay on that?
So they have $85,000 worth of credit card debt. Most people that file Chapter 13 are filing it to stop a foreclosure or stop a repossession of a car or to deal with income tax obligations because we can't do an offer and compromise. And most credit cards and hospital bills end up getting zero.
All right. Tell me about the second mortgage on my home, and also, is there something you can do if I'm upside down on my car loans?
So in this case, the second mortgage on the home, remember the house is worth $235,000. We owe $240,000 on the first mortgage and $30,000 on the second. When you have more debt on your house than you have equity, in other words, when your house,
On the
when
first
you
mortgage.
owe more money on the first mortgage than you do, than the house is worth,
Which in this case I do.
I can do something called the lien strip.
All right, so you lien strip and you get rid of the second mortgage.
Right.
Their
Is it-
budget looks good. They get rid of the credit card debt. They get rid of, after they're done with the Chapter 13, they go from negative $425 a month to positive $2,300.
Well, it's not really positive 2,300. The reality, like I said, budgets that when you're paying the $2,125 in the credit cards, you're borrowing some of that every month. But they're going to a positive cash
Which
flow
they can start saving for
from
the
a
future.
negative cash flow, which will help them save for their
All right,
future.
so
Yes.
quickly, what about if you have a car where you're upside down on the loan? Can you do something on that in a
So
Chapter
there's
13?
two different things we can do with cars, and a lot of people that are falling behind on their homes are also behind on their car payments.
What are the two things you can do?
We can cram down the car so we can pay the fair market value in a Chapter 13 of the car.
So reduce the amount of the loan effectively?
Yeah, so if your car's worth $10,000 and you owe $18,000 on it, we can pay $10,000
Okay,
in
what's the
Chapter
second thing you can
13.
do?
We also can, if your car isn't crammable for
Like if
various
it's a
reasons.
lease, let's say it's a leased car.
Well, the lease is a different question, but if your car isn't crammable, we can lower the interest rate to the what's called the till rate, which is basically fair market
So if I
interest
took
rate.
out one of those lousy loans where I'm paying 13%, you can bring it down to?
24.99%.
What can you bring it down to?
Probably 5.5, 6.
Wow.
All right, so there's lots of things in a Chapter 13 you can do over and above saving the house from foreclosure.
Now, with a lease, a lot of people fall behind on a lease also. We can take the arrearage that you've accrued on the lease while they're out looking to repo the car, and we can spread that out over the remaining life of the lease also while we're catching you up. And
That's if they haven't repoed the car.
So
right?
you contact the leasing company to do that?
No, through the bank, but it's through the bankruptcy.
Oh, through the bankruptcy.
So
Okay.
That's great.
Lots
That's
of
super.
opportunity to fix all of these problems, but if you ignore them, the car's getting repoed, the house is getting foreclosed, and you're living in a tent and riding a bicycle.
I want to worry about Michael now. You got me covered. The Chapter 13 is saving the house. We're getting the budget's turning around. Everything's good. But Michael, my kid, is an MIP. Scott, what do we do about that?
Mike had more in his cup than just coffee. He had some other things he wasn't supposed to have. So here's the story with MIPs. So 2 years ago, they changed it. It used to always be misdemeanors, which sometimes that's actually better. If a family thinks that their child is charged with a crime, they take it more seriously. And what happened was, 2 years ago, they changed the law. So now, if you're charged with an MIP first offense, it's a civil infraction. And the problem is, it doesn't go on your criminal record, but families don't take it
So
seriously.
what's the difference between civil infraction and misdemeanor?
So a civil infraction isn't going on your criminal record on your first offense, and you just pay the ticket. The problem is that's here in Michigan. So you have somewhere that your kid's up at University of Michigan, right? Go Blue, and they get an MIP. They pay the ticket. They pay this MIP civil infraction, and they think it's all set because it's not a misdemeanor. But now they're trying to get a job in New York where it potentially is a misdemeanor, and they're going to treat it like a misdemeanor
So
on your
if you
record.
said you had a minor in possession, which is a civil infraction in Michigan,
Exactly.
in a different state may treat it differently?
It might treat it like a misdemeanor.
Well, why is it on any sort of record?
Well, we can go through that.
Well, hang on. Let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to go through exactly your question.
Carrying too much debt? Resolve your debt. Call THAV GROSS.
You don't need to be broke, and you don't need to hit rock bottom. If you have income and you're struggling with debt, dump it. Think about the next 10 or 20 years. If you do what the banks tell you, you'll have nothing to retire with. There is a solution.
Don't waste your future. Call THAV GROSS. We're experts at eliminating credit card debt. 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
Criminal matters are serious. Your freedom, future, and wallet are on the line. Criminal defense attorney Scott Weinberg is a former prosecutor and renowned criminal lawyer. For over 30 years, he's the go-to defender in Michigan to protect your rights. Scott's advice: you have the right to remain silent. Use it. If charged with a crime, call Scott Weinberg today, 888-235-HELP, 888-235-HELP. And remember, stay silent.
Tax problems are major problems. Don't let the IRS levy your wages and seize your assets. There is a solution.
We're THAV Gross. Our firm will solve your problem.
If you're behind on your taxes and owe money to the IRS, call THAV GROSS.
We've been solving tax problems for 32 years. We stop wage levies, resolve unfiled returns, and obtain the best possible settlements.
Call THAV GROSS today, 888-235-HELP.
Time for announcements. I want to remind our viewers to listen to us for Law and Reality Live on the Praise Network and also on KISS 105.9, Tuesdays 10 a.m. and Saturdays 7 a.m. and on KISS Sundays 7 o'clock a.m. Remember to sign up for our free monthly contest. Free $100 Visa gift card, Law and Reality hat, and a copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. All you have to do is go to the website, pop your email address in, and you're entered. Every month we make those giveaways. It's a great opportunity. We have a seminar coming up Wednesday, December 11th, 6 to 7:30 p.m. I'm going to become debt-free in 2020. Great idea. How to switch from trying to keep pace with your debt to actually saving money for your future so that when you get to retirement, you've got something to retire with. Debt elimination is a key part of that process. Special segments by Jeff Linden on taxes and also by Scott Weinberg on criminal family-related issues. Attendees get a free copy of my book, Dump Your Debt. Sign up at thavgross.com, lawandreality.com, or call 888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP. Also remember, you can always come in to the firm for a free consultation. Just call 888-235-HELP or go online to sign up. Debt issues and estate planning issues with Brian, tax issues with Jeff, business issues with myself, elder law issues with Pat Samasco, disability and workers' comp issues with Jeff Kirshner, criminal issues with Scott. Just take advantage of that free consult. It's not a meet and greet. We analyze the situation. We tell you what you need to do. We tell you what it's going to cost, so then you can plan accordingly and make your proper decisions. Free reports also. We've got free reports on the website. Just go to the website. There's 4 free reports. Brand new one, Resolving Tax Problems, The Real Solutions, by myself and also Jeff Linden. How to Save Your Home from Foreclosure, Business Formation Loans and Grants for Small Businesses in Michigan and in the Detroit area. Pat Samasco has a Retiree's Guide from Social Security. I want to thank our sponsors, THAV GROSS, Samasco Law, Michigan Criminal Lawyers PLC, and Jeff Kirshner Law. Now back to the show.
If you're retired and in a financial crisis, there is a way out.
It pains me when I see a retired couple exhaust their savings by paying credit card bills and for a home hopelessly underwater.
THAV GROSS specializes in helping retired people in financial crisis.
You just can't keep paying until you're broke. You need to address the problem now.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
A lifetime of hard work. If you don't have the right plan in place, you can lose your home, your savings, and more. And you didn't come this far to lose everything. Samasco Law wants you to know that laws are changing. Today, the average cost of nursing home care is $85,000 a year. With proper planning, we can help protect your life savings and get you the Medicaid and nursing home benefits you deserve.
How much can you afford to lose? Call Samasco Law today.
Nothing provokes panic and fear like the threat of a school shooting. Unfortunately, we've seen a sharp increase in students making copycat threats in order to gain notoriety. I'm Macomb County Prosecutor Eric Smith. Students, this behavior will not be tolerated. Felony charges will be brought against anyone who threatens the safety of our schools. Parents, please talk to your children and pass along this message. If you threaten our schools, it will cost you your future.
Is the debt piling up? Struggling to get by?
It's all about preserving future income. Bankruptcy is one option. When it's right, it's the least costly, most effective way to save your home, eliminate a second mortgage, and wipe out credit card debt. But you need to address the problem now.
We help people with bankruptcy. Call the experts.
We're THAV GROSS. Our firm will solve your problem.
888-235-HELP. That's 888-235-HELP.
All right, so Michael gets this civil infraction. You're saying he shouldn't just pay?
Don't pay.
What, was it just like a fine?
First of all, don't ever pay a ticket. Don't ever pay your tickets, whether it's a MIP ticket, a traffic ticket. Always call
Just
an attorney
take them,
first.
put them into a garbage can and throw them away?
Those are your tickets, but every other person should call their attorney.
Why?
Call me, because
Well,
you
well,
always
okay.
can do something with these tickets. You always have the opportunity to negotiate. It's just like
What about
buying
a
a car.
park-
Do you
parking-
ever go and buy
parking
a car?
ticket?
Do you ever go? Parking tickets
I can
usually
pay.
can't do much.
Okay.
But do you ever go to a place and just pay sticker for a car? No, you try to negotiate. It's the same thing with a ticket. Always
Ryan
negotiate.
Small would choose death before paying sticker for a car.
anything.
And that's what people should
For
have.
anything. A
I am
So-
excellent.
So whenever
He
you're
has
charged-
heart palpitations when you even say that.
Well, that's right. So whenever you're charged with a crime or you get any civil ticket, always talk to your lawyer. Always call me about what to do, even if it's just a free consultation.
cost me
I will
anything
walk
to
you
call
through.
you?
No, we'll always give you a free consultation, and we give payment plans too. So you don't need to always put the money up front. You can always work a payment plan with our firm too.
Because on driving violations, it's about not just the violation, it's about saving on your insurance down the
This is
road.
exactly right. Every time you pay a ticket, I don't care if it's an MIP civil ticket or a traffic ticket, your insurance, especially for your teenager, is going to go up in your house.
What about one of those, you end up paying it, but they took it under advisement? Does that ever show up on a record?
So
of
they
any
usually
type?
don't take tickets under advisement, any traffic tickets under advisement. If they have like a criminal case and they take it under advisement, that's always better than if you're convicted. It's called a delayed sentence. So you have an opportunity to work to be able to get it off your record. Those are always much better.
Back to Michael. All right, so your point on Michael was, even though it's a civil infraction, I think there's two things. It may not be construed that way out of state.
That's exactly
and the
right.
other one is, if you do a civil infraction for an MIP and then you get another one, then it's a misdemeanor?
Then it's a misdemeanor.
So then
That's
you have a
why,
much bigger problem.
Exactly. So take that first MIP civil infraction extremely serious. Try to get it where it's not an MIP on his record.
How do you do that?
Even civil. Well, you hire an attorney so that we can keep that off his record.
How do you do that? What do
we
you do to make that
negotiate
happen?
with the prosecutor. You know, I used to be a prosecutor. I know how to negotiate with it. So you negotiate to get it so it's not an MIP civil infraction, so that if your kid gets another one up at college, mostly like
Then he doesn't
at
have the
Michigan
first
State
one.
where they drink a lot, then they would be able to keep that off the record.
What do you say?
At U of M, we don't really have that problem too much. But at Sparty,
You
believe
can
me, they
see
have a
the
lot
flags in the background now.
But that's really important, is that
Who
you
has
want
the
to be able to
better
keep that.
basketball team?
Well, we're going to see this year, aren't
Yes,
we?
we will this year.
We're not
put
going
my
to
money
discuss.
on Michigan.
We're
How about
not
you?
going to discuss football right now.
Well, that way.
Football is not up for
But
discussion.
if
I'm outnumbered 3-1 here.
But listen, if the listeners,
are.
if the listeners can get one thing out of this, what I'm saying is always take, if your child is charged, I don't care if they're 13 in a juvenile case or if they're 26 and they're still in college, always take it serious about what they're charged with, what they get a ticket, because it can affect their record, their license, and their future employment.
So rather than paying the ticket on the civil infraction for an MIP, you go to Scott or an attorney that knows how to get it done. You end up getting it into like impeding traffic
Well,
or something
that
like
doesn't go on their civil record that
As
is going to
a
cause
MIP.
a second offense.
Does an
And that's the way it's treated.
MIP, does that affect your driving record in any way?
It can affect your driving record, but more importantly, they think that anybody who gets an MIP, they're more likely to get a drunk driving. That's how these judges think about it. So if you want to keep it off your record so that you're not seemingly a substance use or abuse related type of client, you want to be able to keep it off your record, because judges are going to look at you differently if you had that MIP on your record.
Wow.
So here, the interesting thing, the law changed, making it from a misdemeanor to a civil infraction. People then become less lax and concerned about it, but the truth of the matter is you need to be just as vigorous about it, because you don't want to set your child up for that first offense, because then the second offense is a misdemeanor, and then it's a bigger problem at that point. You also run, we only have about 10, 15, 20 seconds left, but you also run into the problem when you're later on applying for jobs and they ask the question, or licenses, have you ever had an MIP?
Well, or have you ever been charged with a crime?
Yeah,
Which
you
is
get
really
rid of
serious.
that if
Right.
you turn it into a traffic violation. Scott, thanks for the info. Jeff, always fun. Brian, great to have you as always. Have a great week, everybody. We'll be back next week with Law and Reality.